Bobo from Chicago. You're in Houston today talking about your new book.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the book is going to be and what it's going to include?
The book is Wage Theft in America. It's the second edition. It really highlights the crisis of wage theft in the nation and what we can do about it as citizens.
And what's the key to this? Because I know you've written this book earlier. The first edition came out. This book is a little different. This edition's a little different. How's it going to be different?
Yeah, this edition does several different things. First, it has a whole new chapter on ethical businesses. And really trying to lift up that there are people in difficult situations in industries that, like construction, that are rife with wage theft. There are still ethical employers that are doing the right thing. So that's number one. It also has a chapter on payroll fraud. Now this is when employers illegally call workers independent contractors when they're not. It's fraudulent behavior, and so it's a whole chapter on payroll fraud. Then there's two new chapters on the state enforcement efforts around wage theft and the local enforcement efforts around wage theft, like the bill that just passed in Seattle last week. There's a hearing that took place last week in San Francisco on a new bill, so it really outlines those new bills.
Since we're construction citizen and we work mostly in the construction space right now, do you think progress is being made in that arena in terms of dealing with these issues like payroll fraud and unethical behavior and those kinds of activities? Do you see that yet, or are we still in the early stages?
I think we're still in the very early stages. I think the construction sector is really one of the worst sectors in terms of not paying people fairly and wage theft and payroll fraud. And so we really have got to come at it from all different directions. There's a whole set of worker centers that are trying to help workers. There are ethical employers that are trying to push back. There are some new task forces at the Department of Labor, and there's some new legislation at the state and city level. And so I think we've really got to come at the problem, which is indeed a crisis in the construction industry, from all different levels.
Well, and we have now 28 states, 27 states, maybe 28 if the Seattle law went through. 28 states who have misclassification wage theft laws that should help that. If the states themselves will enforce those laws, then that should help the Department of Labor. Is that correct?
Absolutely. But again, I think it's really going to take all of us, right? It's going to take citizens who are saying, hey, I only want to hire contractors that actually pay people fairly. It's got to be employers who say, hey, I'm going to take the risk to do the right thing. So it really has to be all of us together. So I believe in enforcement, but again, that alone won't do it because there's not enough enforcement staff at either the federal or the state level.
Absolutely. So when will the book be published?
It'll be out right before Labor Day, and so we obviously hope people will get the book, but more important, really start having conversations with people about both wage theft and about payroll fraud, because my experience is when you talk to people, they have no idea that this is going on in general, and when they learn about it, they're horrified and frankly want to do something about it. So I think it's an issue where actually talking about it matters.